The big moments in life are always easy to appreciate. A promotion, a milestone, something that you've worked years for. But if you think back on the moments that have made you feel alive, they're usually smaller than that. A conversation, a quiet morning, a gorgeous sunset, something that almost didn't register. That's what this piece is about. If you played gratitude, you already know how we work. We do small sections, we lock that in, and we don't rush. This piece is going to use the same approach, but it is going to ask a little more of you. It's going to feature the left hand playing the melody. That's intentional. Typically, the left hand is accompanying the right hand, but we're going to flip it with this piece. And also, this is going to require a little bit of counting. Nothing crazy, but it is going to require a little bit more detail. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to put my hand here in C position. But before we go any further with this, just a reminder, please download the PDF and make sure you can follow along. I invite you, as always, to pause and make sure you get things down and go at your own speed so that you're not rushed. We're going to be using the same method we've done before, where we lock in small little things, feel great about it, and then we move on. And that builds momentum for us to feel like we're accomplishing things and not just trying to get through things. Okay, so let's focus on those first two measures. Okay, so I'm in C position here for these first two measures, and let's look at that left hand. We have some dotted quarter notes, so we're in 4/4 time. I'm gonna count out loud while I play just this first part. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, stopping on beat 1 of measure 3. I'll play it without counting. You may have noticed that I shifted my fingers at the end of that. We're going to be in C position, but then we're going to need to get to an inversion of C right here for measure 3. So in order to do that, when I get to G, I'm going to put my 4th finger on F so that I can get to that spot right there. So left hand once again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. All right, so I'm going to stop just inside measure 3 there. The right hand is going to go like this, a 5th, followed by another 5th. These are perfect fifths. And I'm going to use my 4th finger to get that F right there. Let's try putting the right hand with the left hand together. I'm going to count while I play this because it helps me get this straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Great. So pause if you need to get that down, but then we're going to move on to measures 3 and 4. Measures 3 and 4 are going to have the left hand going down in scale fashion, like a C major scale. Like that. But we're going to come first up, thumb down to G, just like that. All right? Yes. And our right hand was here and here, but now we're going to move up to G4 and C5 right there. Then 2/4 on the off beats, so on the and of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So counting is going to be kind of important here, but here I go. I'm going to count while playing both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you feel like you got that down, let's put measures 1 through 4 together. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Measures 1 through 4. Let's do that counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that we've got that down, we're going to go to measures 5 through 8. And 7 and 8 are the climax. Okay, so let's do measure 5 and 6. The left hand is going to do the same thing we did in measures 1 and 2. And even into measure 7, it's going to stay the same. The right hand is going to do these arpeggios, going up an octave like this, and then spreading out. Now, if you have the pedal, you can get the whole sound and not have to keep your thumb on that B flat to spread out. All right, but let's do both hands when you're ready. When you're ready, remember you can pause. We're going to get measures 7 and 8, which is the climax. Okay, so now we're at measures 7 and 8, and this is where the climax is. It is a little bit more difficult, but that's okay because we're going to spend our attention on this and it's going to go just as smoothly as the rest of it. It does have an unexpected twist. We do measure 7, left hand, just like measure 3, with that crossover, but then we go to this A flat. An unexpected, simple surprise. So we're going to put my thumb here, and then I'm going to do it again with my thumb on G, catching that E flat, which is still active. And that's that measure. The right hand is relatively simple, but probably both of them together could feel like a lot, but we can go nice and slow. The right hand is going to go like this. Okay, so putting both hands together, here's what I want to do. Rather than try to play both measures, both hands at the same time, let's just get used to the timing of the first half of measure 7. So that's the C, F, and the E right there. We're going to couple that with great. Now that may feel a little bit weird. It makes sense in the full context, but we want to be able to get good at small things so that we never feel overwhelmed. So when we're ready, we're going to add beat 3 of measure 7. We just want to be able to get to there with that crossover. Now we're going to add beat 4 of measure 7. Good. Now what we want to do is get ready for this change. Both hands have to move. So we're going to be on finger 2 right here and finger 3 at the end of measure 7. And then my right hand's got to come down and meet the left hand doing that A flat. So everything in measure 8 feels like a shift. Good. So let's get measure 8 down, and then we're going to put measures 7 and 8 together. Great. So if I feel okay about measure 8, then we may need to be focusing on going from measure 7 to measure 8 because of that shift. So I'm going to try to play measure 7 through 8 nice and slow, being aware that that transition into 8 is going to be a shift for both hands. Sometimes when you get to the hard part of a piece, this is where many people will give up, but because we have a nice method, that doesn't need to be the case for us. All we're going to do is just give it more time and more attention. Okay, I think we're ready to try measures 5 through 8 together, and then we'll try measures 1 through 8 together. Nice. Feel free to pause as you need to get that down, but it's going to be pretty satisfying to get measures 5 through 8 totally down. This piece is now going to start to come into focus. We've got measures 1 through 8 that we're going to do a full run through. Here we go. Nice. How's that been going so far? Hopefully going great. So now we can work on the very ending. The left hand is going to be doing an arpeggio, an A flat major arpeggio. And our right hand takes E flat and C to reinforce that harmony. And we're going to want to have our pedal down so I can go down and get that octave. Sorry, my pinky is cut off there. So, oops. And we got 1 and 2, 3, 4. Measure 10. Okay, D flat major triad. And our right hand is going to stay with that pinky on C5. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So measure 9. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And then our final measure. 1 and 2. And that left hand, C, G, and E. My right hand is going to play fourth right there to complete it. So my right hand can kind of just camp out on that pinky being on C5. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And I'm slowing down because the fermata suggests that we can just take our sweet time. Okay, so the entire piece from the top. I suggest you try playing it with me. I'm going to go nice and slow. I'm going to count to 4 to let you know my tempo before we start. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Now it's your turn, and this time as you play it, I want you to think about those small, simple pleasures in life that give you joy. You've now learned 2 pieces that use the same approach. Small sections, lock in each one, don't rush the hard parts, stay in them until they're not hard anymore. That's not just a way to learn a piece, that's an actual method. And it works on everything, at any piece, on any level, including the ones that feel completely out of reach to you. In a few days, I'll show you exactly how. I'm going to show you 4 steps that I use to break down any difficult measure, no matter how complicated it might be. Keep an eye on your inbox and go play this piece one more time for those small little things.